Hello Purse Junkies and welcome back to my channel. So this morning is going to be a mini get ready with me. My sister called and she wants to go to the farmer's market. So I said, of course I want to go because I need to get some fruits and vegetables. You all know that's all I eat because I've been on the struggle bus lately with food. I just don't have an appetite for like heavy food, but I'll eat fruit and vegetables all day long. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go. So I had to get up and get ready. So I said, I'll just bring you all along. So I've showered and I'm wearing my little leopard dress today because it's outside. It's a farmer's market. So it's like an indoor outdoor type thing. And it gets pretty hot here during the day. And also, remember I said I was going to do my hair journey this year? I am serious about my hair this year. I'm not going to walk around looking like Miss Seeley's sister. No, I'm not. So, yes, this is a new look. So the last video I had an install a wig that I purchased from Temu. But this is actually hair that I purchased from the beauty supply store, and this is sew-in. Because I said, you know what, I have a couple of videos that I need to do, and I just can't deal with the wigs. Like taking, on and off, on and off, on and off. No, so I said, can you just give me something that I can, just pull up in the bun, put on top of my head and go. But here's the thing, because we're going to the farmer's market, I don't want hair in my face. So I'm thinking about a little, but I don't know how to do this. I want to put on so that the hair isn't like, because it's a little windy out and the wind will be blowing hair everywhere. So I'll sit this here. So when we're out there, if it gets too windy, just put my hair back and I'm good. But how have you all been doing today? I know I've been missing in action. I have. A little backstory. I have been under the weather. I have not been feeling well. I found myself in urgent care on Super Bowl Sunday, and because they could not, what's the word, what I'm looking for? They did not have the equipment to check my issue. I had to go to the emergency room. I had to go to the hospital, and I was in the hospital until about 2 o'clock in the morning, so I missed the entire Super Bowl, and they sent me home on a ton of narcs, which I took one time because it had me down. When I say down, I see how these people get addicted because you start taking them, and so I took it one day, and I can't tell y'all what the pills are, because when I get something like that, I absolutely throw it away. I don't keep it because that stuff is dangerous. So my eyes, I don't know, something's on my glasses. It's like a big, huge black spot. Like if something gets on my glasses, it's a black spot. So you know what? Let's talk about something that I generally don't talk about on my channel, and that's my disability. So folks, yes, I am disabled. I have a disability that you would not know of if you were to meet me. Only if I tell you, or if you happen to be out and about with me, you would say, yes, I'm wrong with that, sister. But I am legally blind. So that, let me see something. Oh no, let's see, how can I say it? For those who try and, who want to say, okay, legally blind, what's wrong with her? I have what is titled as optic neuropathy, diplopia. I have, how can I describe it to you? Looking through my eyes, it's like a kaleidoscope, but I have what they call nasal vision. So my vision comes here and goes here. So I see through a tunnel. But because that tunnel is just that, and I have diplopia, it just really makes everything that I look at just really crazy. So nothing is settled in my vision. thus I am home 95% of the time. And the other 5%, I'm either at the doctor's office, the grocery store, or running errands with a family member. It's rare that I'm alone. It really is very rare that I'm alone. In the early stages, I would venture out on my own, but as time goes on, my vision changes, and over the years, I've lost a lot. Okay, folks, I am so sorry for the interruption, but my little Bella, she is getting groomed. And that was the groomer. He was done, and she is all pretty again. Remember the last time she was groomed? Oh, they did my dog wrong. My daughters are like, what the heck happened to me? She looked fine. She looked like a little dog, but everything looks the same to me. But they did her dirty. She looked like Sergeant Carter. Oh, but now she looks like my little fluffy Yorkie Poodle Maltese again. She's a mutt, but she is so sweet. That's my companion dog. So that was the interruptions, and now we're gonna go back to the scheduled program. Catch you in a few. Okay, so I'm back, and we were talking about my disability. And for those of you who don't know, I am legally blind. So some of the misconceptions about a blind person is that blind people have a problem, or it is difficult for them to navigate around. Well, when I'm in my home, I get around very well because I am familiar with everything. The only issue that I have is because I have zero peripheral at all. I have what they call nasal vision. I will tend to hit walls or corners, and that is when I know that there has been a change in my vision field, or I'll bump into things. So that is, I would say, as far as me getting around my home, would be the only challenge for me. When I'm out now, it is a big challenge, but the one thing that I always tell people is I've been with this condition since 2015, and the one thing that the brain will do, because that something is wrong when you walk out and you don't see well, you've trained yourself to map a path. And if I can map a path, I'm good, but if I cannot map a path, I will stop. Like, I won't move. If I'm, like, 9 times out of 10, I'm either with my sister or my daughter. If they call my name, I know to stop because I'm about to knock some shit over or bump into someone. 9 times out of 10, I'm bumping into someone. Because if things are stationary, like they don't move, I'm fine. But when you're moving in and out of my path, it is just a cluster bust, and it is just not right. So when I'm out, I don't do a lot. And I don't go many places. I know when you look at my social media, you're like, oh, this woman, she's out, she's doing, she's this, she's that, woo, woo, woo. Those are vacations, time with my family. But for the most part, I'm in by choice because my brain cannot handle the activity on the outside. So my day will generally end at about, I would say, 6. I'm winding down, and I really don't want to go out. When it's dark, I definitely don't want to be out. But sometimes you have to be out. So that is one of the myths. Myths. We can, there's some who are totally blind. It's a spectrum. There's some who are totally blind. There's some that with optic neuropathy where their central line of vision is gone and they just have the peripheral. I don't have any peripheral vision. My vision is like right here, but whatever comes into my vision field is ×2. And depending if my floaters or blind spots are doing whatever they do, nothing is happening. So now they say that some can't live independently. You can. As a blind person, you can. I am 57 years old, so for 50 years, guess what? So you can live independently. I would say the only thing that really gets me under my skin, let me just say, is, I'm sorry, you guys know how I roll, is I love makeup. I have an abundance of makeup, but unfortunately, if I put on makeup, it's gonna take me a minute, a couple of hours for me to do it. So I generally just put on lip gloss. I don't even, and like a lipstick. I don't do mascara unless it's a function, and even then I don't. I can only do a full face if I'm just sitting here playing in my makeup, or my daughter, she does my makeup. I cook, but I've stopped cooking like early on by myself because I have the dropsies. If my brain is overstimulated, I go to sleep. I can't control it. So I try and really minimize my cooking when my kids are not at home. Well, my girls are not at home, because I'm not trying to burn down the house. But anything else I'm pretty good at. Colors, I don't have a great deal, I don't have many colors in my home because of the stimulation. I have these wall units that I keep my clothing in because, too much color really, my brain is like going crazy. So that's why I say blindness is a spectrum, and depending on what your situation is, that's just how you live. For me, I'm between here and my son, and thankfully I have that space. Let's see. They say that you can't use technology. Actually, technology is our best friend. Lately, I've had to resort back to my laptop and my desktop because those are the only places that give me a better view. And I'm able to enlarge the font. On the phone, you can enlarge the font size, but it's like you're reading one letter at a time. No. And then there's also technology that talks, that'll speak to you. Apple has a technology where you can point at the building, or, it kind of like gives you direction. So technology is our best friend. The situation is just always having that in your hand, which can be a bit of a problem, which I'm not a person that likes to walk around with their phone in their hand. I don't, and I don't think I ever will. And I think that's why I pretty much stay in and kind of like map out my day, my week, and I just follow that pattern. Now, as far as me going out to the grocery store, generally sometimes we order through Instacart, so things are delivered to me. But when I go into the grocery store, I have a set pattern. I don't deviate. As most of you know, I'm not a big meat eater. So fish, I can just go to the fish market, get my fish, but then I'm just fruits and vegetables. So it's eggs, milk, cereal, coffee creamer, coffee, fruits, vegetables. And so it's just like I know exactly where I'm going, what I need. And as far as my tolerance, my patience, well, that depends on the day. And as my sister would say, I'm like a switch. I'm on or off. And I'm that way because it's just a lot going on, and it can be a bit much for me. My form of blindness, I would not wish on anyone. For an entire year, I stayed inside. Well, let's say for about 6 months, I was just like inside. I only went to the doctor because they were like, it takes 6 months for the optic nerve to heal, and you'll know, if it's gonna correct itself or if it's just gonna just completely die. And thank God mine just like stopped, because it was just like, okay, this is crazy. So I was in, I won't forget, I sat in a reclining rocker and just stared at a window for 6 months, all day, every day for 6 months. Then I finally, my brother said, you know, no, you're gonna come stay with me, which was, oh God, Jesus. That's another story time. But I went to my brother and stayed with him for a little while just to give my girls a break, because my kids were still in college. All of them were in college, and I did not want my situation to impact their future. So, and I think that's another thing that really kept me strong, is, you know, to just show that you can get through any and everything that, you know, you're faced with. And my daughter graduated University of South Florida. My son graduated University of Miami, and my baby graduated University of Central Florida. So I was blessed in that situation. Then my son moved to Ohio, and so that my daughter here can just kind of like, you know, they're young, they're getting their life together, just experience, you know, I've graduated, I'm on my own, I'm working, you know, just so she'll have that. I was with my son for some time, which he was in hog heaven. So I was between here and Ohio, and I needed that. I think Ohio was very refreshing for me because where they live is just really quiet, it's calm, not a lot of activity. So I was just able to just really, I think, come down a little bit, and that truly helped me. But my journey has been really crazy. I even remember a friend of mine, she just hated the fact that I stayed inside all day and wouldn't come out. And so she would just say, you getting out of the house, come on. And she would literally, like every Friday or Saturday, she would just come pick me up, and would just all day long, we just hang out and just do different things. But I'm going to take you on this journey, and we'll talk a little bit more about my disability, and how, you know, sometimes but you know, there are times when it really gets to me because I can't drive anymore. I can't, you know, being dependent. There's some things that I'm 100% dependent upon others, and that is getting me around, and that frustrates me to no end, especially when I was that individual who just really never bothered or asked, or, you know, I would just always make it happen for myself. So I just feel somewhat of a burden at times to others. And then sometimes I feel like, you know what, it is what it is, and this is how I have to do things. But yeah, we'll keep this train going, and we'll talk a little bit more about my disability, and how I cope with it. I'll give you a funny story. I do walk out of the house with my clothes inside out sometimes, because that's just what happens. And you know, when some things you just don't give, you be like, look, all right, I'll change it when I get to where we're going, and that's just how I am. So that's just one of the funny things that happens, you know. Not often anymore, like it used to happen a lot in the beginning, but now it doesn't. Not as much, but it still happens. So, folks, I am going to get ready to go to the farmer's market, finish getting ready, but I want to show you something. All right, because you all know I'm a single woman. I don't know if you guys know I'm a single woman. Yes. So, I was at the hair salon getting my hair done, this beautiful sew-in, and so this guy came through selling perfume, and so I was told to get this one because it will have all the men chasing you. So I said, oh, I need to get this because this is the year for me to find a boo, right? They said that they will be running you down. So this is her, folks. I think you could purchase this on Amazon as well. Most things you can get on Amazon. But when I tell you she smells good, oh, she smells good. And yes, I have it on. So I'll let you guys know how the farmer's market went today. So stay tuned, folks, and I will see you a little later.